Lorne Alfred Samuel Hubber, aka Hub, was born during a terrific blizzard on January 30th, 1939, apparently one of the worst blizzards that Hamilton has ever seen. So the story goes that his mom needed blood, and the word went out, and his dad and his Uncle Bill trudged through this horrific snowstorm up the Hamilton Mountain to the Henderson Hospital to give blood. I first met Hub when he came out to play baseball at Emperor Square in Caledonia for the Caledonia Clippers. We lived on the corner of the square, and my dad was one of the assistant coaches. He was a terrific ball player. Not many balls got past second base, and a very good hitter. And that's where I got to see him and first meet him. A typical day, if there is or was such a thing, would be Hub leaving for work early in the morning, working hard all day at Lancaster, coming home for dinner, which was always late, 7 o'clock-ish, and then he'd be off to a meeting for the PUC. He was chairman for 33 years of the Haldimand Hydro. He was and is a life member of the Kinsman Club. That was always on a Thursday night. He led a very busy life.
I remember, I don't know if he started it or your granddad, Ken Burr, started it, but the Caledonia Kinsmen were always famous for their happy hours or their cocktail hours. And the fellowship of that group, you know, really I felt was a strong bond that kept the group together. You know, and somebody would maybe have a problem or a concern or be upset about something. Hub would get them in the corner, maybe with a cocktail, maybe not. And when they got done, things were straightened out. Hub just had that kind of respect from people who got to know him, especially at the district level. Hub was such a leader in my view. And Hub had that attitude, well, you know, follow me, we'll get there.
I think his partner, Bob, they were like two different people. They both had something. And I think the success of any partnership is that each partner has to bring something different to the table. And so I think that he made that, the two of them made that partnership last for a long, long time. And I think that Bob Graham did have a big influence on Hub.
When people ask me how we got along together or how we did so well together, my usual answer was, well, I got a partner that's a good business head, and I know which end of a hammer to use.
I was inspired by Lorne because of how he operated. He was so polished and really, I considered him at the top of the heap in the industry. It was just a known fact that he had high standards, and he was a man of integrity, and we just all followed, and people followed. Everybody was very good at joining in.
We picked up a job in Kyrgyzstan on top of the Tyne Chain Mountains in 1995. I was vice president at the time, and I myself went there. It was the biggest job that Adam Clark had ever done. It was about 1 million man-hours. And Lorne's crew came over there and did the sheet metal and did an absolutely fantastic job. I think it was a very substantial job to Lorne. Everything had to be, you know, fabricated and installed. It was at 4,200 meters above sea level. It was right on top of the Tyne Chain Mountains. So it was logistically an absolute tiger to do. And we ended up doing it, when we got to the job, it was 8 months over schedule. We ended up turning the button a day early. So that's pretty remarkable, you know, halfway around the world. And I think probably that was, that's certainly what set us apart from on the mining scene, and I think put Lorne and Lancaster in a different light in the mining industry too.
I know Lorne from back probably in the early 80s, and that we met, Lorne and I were both directors on the Hamilton Sheet Metal Contractors Association. What a lot of people don't realize is that Lorne was instrumental in the starting of the Ontario Sheet Metal Contractors Association and was actually its first president back in 1971. Lorne served actually representing the Hamilton Sheet Metal Contractors on OSM's Labor Relation Council for in excess of 20 years and half of that time he served as the council vice chair.
I met Lorne in 1990 when I became the executive director of the Ontario Sheet Metal Group. We got to know one another pretty well, particularly in the labor relations aspect of the association business. For whatever reason, and particularly the Hamilton Union, had a lot of faith in Lorne and trusted him in a lot of, a lot of issues that they had. And through Lorne, I kind of realized that, union management didn't need to be adversarial. I often felt that Lorne was really the only team player in the room at that time.
Lorne had always dealt with the labor issues of the association and reported into us, and I believe he did 3 rounds of negotiations. They're done every 3 years in provincial negotiations for our association. I recently did that same negotiation this year and have a new found respect for the process. Well, I think he took his responsibilities in labor negotiations very seriously. I think he was very progressive and found many solutions for us over the years that we've had issues.
When Construction House was opened, it was a very unique venture, and Lorne was key to making that happen. He was a powerful voice within the Sheet Metal Association, and it was the Sheet Metal Association coming to the table as one of the partner associations that put the balance in so that trade associations, the general contractors, and the HCA could make this work. Most people don't know this, but this is a unique facility in Canada. There's never been a joint venture association building like this built in the construction industry in Canada, and this one's still owned the same way. Lorne was key to making that happen. I remember the grand opening of Construction House in 1984. Lorne was president. He was going to do the ceremonial duties, and we got picketed. They were trying to block the entrance. We brought Ann Jones, the regional chair, in through the back door so she could participate in the grand opening. And Lorne was ready to go up front, representing the industry with his chromed sheet metal shears, ready to have the ribbon cut. Lorne doesn't usually like to be up front. In this case, we had the kind of representative of the smallest partners, the Sheet Metal Association, representing the whole industry, and it was a great day.
I met Lorne for the very first time at a bid depository committee meeting. It was always a very slippery slope sometimes to try to make decisions and gain momentum in the bid depository arena, because you had so many different stakeholders with different opinions about it. But Lorne, as the leader of that committee, was able to, make sure everyone was heard and do what's best for the industry.
Trying to describe Lorne in one word is really hard.
How about 2 words? Honest businessman.
Lorne is compassionate.
The word that comes to mind with Lorne is dedication.
Lorne is solid.
Lorne is thorough.
Lorne is helpful. Lorne is a leader.
One word to describe Lorne, I would say, is integrity.
So I kind of feel like Lorne's kind of like paved the way as a good example for people contributing to the industry as a whole.